Hey everybody, welcome to this week's edition of Who's Playing Where and What's Going On, your weekly guide to Chicago Jazz. Thought we would take the show out on the road. It's the beginning of baseball season, and the home opener for the White Sox happened this week. Spring is upon us, and what better place to come down to than good old U.S. Cellular Field, better known to all of us diehard White Sox fans as White Sox Park. You can see the World Championship right there, World Championship 2005. Hopefully we're going to get one this year. Hopefully the Cubs are going to be in contention at some point too. But hey, we're going to take a little stroll around the ballpark and give you some information on who's playing where and what's going on this week on the Chicago Jazz scene. Stick around. Well, guys, I wanted to bring Phil over here, and we're going to start the weekly update, but Phil is not a White Sox fan, but I knew he had to see that this is where the original home plate was for the old Comiskey Park, which was here for 88 years. I think it was 88 years, I'm pretty positive. Phil, you suck in that fresh air that you get down here on the south side, and just imagine this entire parking lot right here being one gigantic ballpark. They built it across the street, but they still have the original spot where the home plate was. So that's where we're going to kick this off at here for this week on your weekly guide to Chicago Jazz. Okay, coming up at the Jazz Showcase this week, Eric Reed and his trio are going to start Thursday through Sunday. Thursday the 4th through Sunday the 7th at the Jazz Showcase. Now, Eric Reed is an international jazz piano player, somebody you should definitely check out, but to be able to see him up close and personal at the Jazz Showcase is something you definitely don't want to miss. So go over and check them out, the Jazz Showcase, this Thursday through Sunday. Also coming up at the Green Mill, the Engines are having a CD release party for their new release, and that's going to be Friday, Saturday at the Green Mill up in Uptown, of course. Also Friday, Saturday, coming up at Andy's Jazz Club, 11 East Hubbard, Richie Cole's Alto Madness is going to be there. Now, Richie Cole has been around Chicago for 50 years. He's toured the world, and he doesn't play that. Okay, we're back. We are now at Gate 5, and this is where all the action happens. There's actually a stage right here to my left. They have live music at all the home games, and so you can see, actually, I've seen a lot of our favorite jazz musicians performing down here once in a while. So, you know, you're coming down to a game, very easy on the Red Line, or just drive on down. You never know who you're going to see on this stage right here next to us. A couple other items coming up in the local clubs this weekend, and week, I should say. Coming up next Friday night, Julie Wood and Kelly Brand are going to be performing at Katarina's, 1920 West Irving Park Road. So they're going to be up there at 6:30, and then Rebeteka, kind of a world music band, they take the stage at 10 o'clock. Also coming up at Katarina's on Saturday, the 6th, at 6:30, it's Southport Records kind of sponsored event, and Dave Gordon is going to be up there with his trio. So Dave Gordon, piano player in Chicago, Dave Gordon, great piano player, he's going to be there at 6:30, and then the Rhythm Rockets take the stage at 10 o'clock. So that's at Katarina's. Covers vary. 6 o'clock or the 6:30 sets, I don't believe have covers. Sometimes they vary, but just check. And then 10 o'clock, it's $10 each night, Friday, Saturday. Katarina's, if you haven't been there, it's very eclectic, just a fun time. So you want to check that out. Also coming up this week on Wednesday at Fitzgerald's in the Sidebar, they started having jazz in the Sidebar, is Ken Partika's new standard quintet. It's a quintet. So Ken Partika, great saxophone player in town, his group is going to be there Wednesday night in the Sidebar, the new standard quintet. So you don't want to miss that. Also coming up this week, kind of a special concert. The CJO is going to be performing with Kurt Elling at Pick-Steiger Hall. All of the information is on ChicagoJazz.com. So that's Kurt Elling along with the Chicago Jazz Orchestra. They're doing a tribute to Cole Porter. And they're celebrating Cole Porter's music, which is going to be something to be seen. You know, the Chicago Jazz Orchestra, their last couple of performances, they played Zappa, they've done Ray Charles, and now they're doing a celebration of Cole Porter with Kurt Elling. So that's at Pick-Steiger Hall. Check our website for all the details, get all the information on that. And one other item coming up this week is the Triton College Jazz Spectacular, Saturday, April 6th. It starts at 4 o'clock with a free clinic, and then there's live music and with the James Davis Quartet, along with the Triton College Jazz Faculty and the Triton College Big Band. So you're packed full of live jazz this week. Not only that, you have baseball happening in town here on the south side, and then starting next week we got the Cubs start. So I'm trying not to be a sports guy, but I really love sports too, in addition to jazz. So hopefully you guys can get out, enjoy the city. I'm going to bring one more little feature here. We're not going to do a mailbag today, but one of Bridgeport's most famous Sox fans just happens to be walking by. So I'm going to bring him in, and we can see if we can get a few words from him, and then we'll go to the game. Okay, we'll be right back. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe that we ran into one of the Chicago White Sox biggest fans, Mr. Bacchus. He helps me out at the jazz office every once in a while. He's kind of my assistant. And, hey, Bacchus, say hi to everybody at home. Say hi to Phil over here. You see Phil? Yeah. Well, he came up to buy a ticket because he knows he wants to go to the Dog Days in July. He always loves going. And I think we're going to be able to get a ticket this year because he's here early. He doesn't think about it until the summer. So hopefully you enjoyed this week's guide to Chicago Jazz. It's a little bit of an experiment, but glad we came down to the south side. Glad we're going to go watch the White Sox win today, hopefully. And we'll see you somewhere out on the scene. Right, Bacchus?